Hi Leo, welcome to your mid-April 2020 tarot update. It's Raina here. So I'm just shuffling the cards a little bit. Now I've gotten a little bit paranoid because somebody said you should show them on camera, because sometimes I pick them off camera, but in any case, so you can see. Oh good. It's upside down. Oh my god. I got 3 major arcana cards. How is that possible? How is that possible? I mean, statistically. It's pretty cool. Oh man, you got the best. You have got the best reading. I'll tell you. Leo, what's going on that you have such a good reading? Or a good spread, I should say. The reading, you'll have to decide whether it's a good reading. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry that there's such a tight angle. I just have to speak into my mic, and I have to have it close by, so... Anyway, I probably could put it closer to me, but my tripod is very... It's like about to, tip over at any second, so I can't move it. So the heart of the matter is the High Priestess, and this is a card of being still and knowing. It's a very passive card that's kind of, receptive, not like seeking something from the world, but kind of going within, connecting with the higher self and getting answers from source energy through meditation, for instance, or contemplation, whatever the person is doing. Probably this would also relate to channeling and things like that. It's possible that this is somebody else that you're seeking, but it could certainly be your state of mind right now. And in the past position, this was when I was kind of going, uh-oh, we got the Tower, but it's in the reversed position, which means that the smoke has cleared, the dust has cleared. And if you have come from this cataclysm, this kind of like unexpected event, this disaster, whatever it means to you, you're, trusting in God. It's made you more spiritual, or if you already were a spiritual person, you were able to kind of seek comfort in that part of yourself to not allow, any kind of, I'm looking for another word. What's another word? Not mayhem, but, some kind of like traumatic situation. I'm looking for another word. But anyway, you're not allowing this unexpected event to lessen your faith, to diminish your faith, or it has inspired that within you, where it's like there's a saying, that when there's some idea of like the idea of like the person who has been to the bottom, who has bottomed out, they only can go up from there. And usually, especially if it was something where you lost everything, then you realize the only thing I have is my soul. Because even if I live in a mansion and I have, millions of dollars, this too shall pass. I can't take it with me. So, it sucks that I lost everything, but I didn't lose everything. Now I realize I always had this treasure within me. So something like that, the kingdom of heaven is within. And maybe it took a dramatic event to realize that. And it can run the gamut. And if you feel like, oh, I didn't have anything, maybe in the last 6 months or a year, think back to around 2015 to 2000, or I don't know, 2016, 2017, because this could go back a few years. And I'm thinking of when you had the eclipses in your sign in Aquarius, and yeah, like several years ago. Because maybe this is speaking of a past several years ago, and that kind of shaped your life in a totally different sort of way. And Leo is a very proud sign, so you might have even been humbled if you were taken down a peg. Maybe you were kind of living in the lap of luxury, and then all of a sudden you had to kind of live more modestly. And it might be at first a blow, but Leos are very positive people, so even if that happened, I could see you rebuilding and coming back stronger than ever. And sure enough, the higher message is the chariot, and this is about winning, being the victor over something. And somebody pointed out to me that it's about duality, because the horses are black and white, and this person has both of them. So there's like that non-duality that is talked about in Buddhism, which is like you never think that this thing or that thing, non-dualistic. And that is the cause for a lot of problems, because people think that life is black and white, and it's not. And I just realized something, because the chariot is connected to Cancer, and the North Node is still in Cancer, and that is your 12th house. So it's possible that you have been influenced for the last last 18 months or so, a year and a half, by this North Node situation transiting in your 12th house, which I would associate with the High Priestess. So that's like super cool. And that may be what kind of put you over the top and allowed you to feel that you came back more successfully, because you stopped thinking in absolutes, and that's kind of the dualistic thinking. It's amazing how much you can improve your life just by your thoughts, by changing your thoughts. But it's not something you can snap your fingers and do. It really sometimes it takes a serious event to kind of propel somebody to want to even explore this area, because suffering is a great teacher. And so that's a possibility as well. This is the higher message with the chariot, to me, is also about one-pointedness, which I think is another concept maybe of Buddhism, but it's this idea that is used in meditation, but just in life, where you're focusing on one thing. You're focusing on whatever it is that you need to do. The wild horses idea is that some people, the horses could be thoughts, and some people have a hard time controlling them. And this could show that you have learned how to really hone your concentration skills, so that you're able to not allow outside distractions to keep you from your goal or your purpose. I have found that I think that Leos do tend to have this naturally. And I think it's, especially if your Mercury is also in Leo, because a fixed sign tends to be very stable and persistent with something, and not bouncing around. So it's easier to focus. It's easier to sustain concentration. And, the fact that the High Priestess is there makes me think that it could even have like a spiritual intention as well. What crosses you is the Eight of Wands. So, you know, you may be like in this kind of a transition, or what do they call it? An in-between period where you're healing from something, and perhaps you've had the beginnings of success in one of your endeavors, but it hasn't taken off like a rocket. The Eight of Wands, I think of that as potential energy. And what it means to me is that timing plus passion plus intention, you know, can be the recipe for a launch. But if you don't have one of those elements, it may not be the right time. So especially what we're dealing with right now, things are still kind of up in the air. And there's like this sense of like, okay, when is everything going to get back to normal? When are we going to start to see everything opening up and everything like that? So if you are somebody who has been meaning to launch something, perhaps you need to tune in even more so with the High Priestess, as the High Priestess, to determine what is your best timing, because I feel like this is just temporary with the Eight of Wands. You may be like you may be chomping at the bit, you know, pardon the pun with the chariot card there with the horses. But you are, you know, if you've tried to kind of launch something and it just seems like it's not working out, it may be that the timing is off. And you have like two great final cards. What's coming in, the Ace of Pentacles, the portal that has a material connection to it. So new business opportunity, money, a windfall of some sort coming to you, but some kind of new money-making endeavor. So it's associated with a new cycle. And then we have as the outcome the Magician. So this is, I always love to see this card, because this is like feeling self-empowered, feeling like you are in charge of everything, that you are a co-creator. And Leo is a very creative sign. Do you notice that that symbol for infinity, that looks like an 8, is also in the card for Leo for the Strength card? I think it's on top of the, I don't know if it's on top of the man or the lion, but yeah, the number 8 is a symbol of power. I don't know if this infinity symbol is supposed to be connected to 8 at all, but it's the 8th card in a lot of the decks, the Strength card. So in any case, this is about self-reliance. And it's possible that there was some kind of an event, maybe a loss of a job, for instance, that took you by surprise. And it was like pulling the rug from under you. And whatever this situation is, it's actually was beneficial because it allowed you to go deeper. A lot of Leos, I think, are workaholics. It's definitely the sign of somebody who is very dedicated and a natural leader, and I tend to think of Leos as successful because they tend to seek excellence. And so it can be quite a blow if somebody like that loses their position, because they tend to, you know, be very good at what they do and very diligent. So it may not have even made sense. And maybe that's another thing. If you kind of started delving into the spiritual, it might have been to try to make sense out of something that seemed insane. It seemed like it was just coming out of nowhere. So I believe that any kind of spiritual work that you may have done, or consulting somebody who does this kind of work, has brought you to a place where you're now able to attract material wealth, and also a sense of self-empowerment, so that you're kind of like the captain of your own ship. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, Leo, and I hope that it's somewhat dealing with the situation. I can't expect it in every circumstance, but in any case, if you would like a personal reading, I do mostly astrological readings, and I do, tarot as well, but you can check me out. The link is below. I'm at RenaMoonAstrology.com. Take care. Bye.